Good morning and welcome to Coffee Morning. And I've got two brilliant women with me. I've got Kerry Burr and I've got Shazza.
Hey.
Hello, both.
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, depending on which part of the world you're watching from.
Exactly. Now, we want to know is my fish are talking to me. They're right here.
The fish?
Yeah, I've got fish.
Okay.
They're the kids. But anyway.
We like fish.
No, so insomnia. Sleep problems. Is there any other strategies, names you want to call it?
It's just insomnia, isn't it? It's having difficulty getting off to sleep, perhaps even staying asleep. I know from my own experiences that I've suffered from both. Not anymore, thankfully. Just slight tweak of my bedtime routine, and it's all changed. It's wonderful.
Exactly. Yeah. What's your experience with insomnia, Shazza?
Yes, I always slept reasonably well, although I used to worry a lot in bed. And then after I had my two kids, and my sister was very unwell, and Mum was away, so I had a lot of stress, and I started having anxiety attacks first, really early in the morning at first light. Terrible anxiety attacks. And so then I had trouble falling asleep because I was worried about the anxiety attack in the morning. I'd wake during the night and I'd be worrying about how I was going to get through the day. And, the ultimate irony is worrying about not sleeping, and then you're worrying about not sleeping.
Exactly.
So yeah, and that's when I found a program with a doctor in Australia, and that's that program that I do a little bit of work for on the Facebook. It's Sleep Better Without Drugs, Dr. David Morowitz. And so 20 years later, after that program saved my life, I spoke to Dr. David because I had a little bit of time off during COVID. Yeah, we had our schools closed for a while. So, and that's when we set it up on Facebook, because I thought, I need to help more people to find what I found, all the strategies for sleep that Kerry would know. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And obviously, to the viewers, let us know who you are, where you're tuning from, and let's hear your stories and experience with insomnia. But obviously, people that's in the UK, I know we're going to be extreme. Well, not going. We are extreme humidity, so that can actually have an effect on it as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, humidity is not good. No. I have a lovely fan, floor standing fan, that I bought specifically for my bedroom. Thankfully, my bedroom doesn't get hot. It's fairly sheltered, shaded from the sun during the day. But I do still feel that humidity, and even though these a lot of these mattresses supposedly allow for airflow and have that cooling system, I think I'm not saying that they don't work, but I do think certainly for women of a certain age, it can be a little bit. Yeah, it's not quite as effective as we'd like it to be. So I have this fan in my room, but then of course you see, although I get used to the hum from it, now that can be quite sort of hypnotic at times, actually. But Tia, my German Shepherd, is scared of it.
Of the fan?
Yeah. No idea why. Because I kind of bought it for both of us because she's long-haired as well. So, she does suffer in this heat. And I thought it'd be great to have that going, you know, cool the air down in the room. And she's scared of it, so I can't have it running.
See, there was one time where we had this tall fan at ours, and it cooled the room down, not just us, and like can turn and stuff like that. And our son, he was complaining he was too hot. So like, right, okay. He broke the fan because he was too hot. Okay. So what do we do now is we go for cold showers, really cold showers. They are amazing. But if it's like during the day, instead of just going for a cold shower all the time, we get this spray bottle, like fill a bottle up with, like, I don't know, after you use a detergent bottle, obviously washing out, fill it with water, just spray yourself in the face. That really works.
Yeah. Yeah.
But another strategy is, how weird's this? To cool yourself down in a hot day, have a brew.
Yes. It helps regulate your core temperature, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The other thing that I discovered a few years ago as well, and I suppose it kind of makes sense when you think about it, but the best food to have when it's hot is a hot curry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because it helps to open the pores. Not that I need any excuse to come out in a sweat these days, but you know, it does. It helps to open the pores, and that again helps to regulate the body's temperature, apparently. So,
Yeah.
but then us Brits, we tend to go for a salad.
Yeah.
We
In
do.
hot weather.
We do.
Yeah, and drinks with plenty of ice.
Yeah. What do you Aussies do?
Air conditioning mostly. Yeah, we have very long hot summers, and most people have some form of air conditioning over here. Yeah, not everybody. Some rely on fans, but yeah. What was your comment there, Adam? Have a what? A breath? No, to cool yourself. What was it? Have
A brew, a cuppa.
a brew. Oh, right.
That's what we call it. Or
Yeah,
as
a
you
brew.
say, a cup of tea or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if a curry would help everyone sleep though.
No,
No.
Hello, darling.
no.
Right for cooling
I think it
down,
depends.
maybe.
Yeah, it depends how late you eat it, I guess. I think if to be honest, eating any time, for me, if I eat after 8 o'clock, then I can't go to bed for at least
Yeah.
4 hours. At least
Yeah.
4 hours after I've eaten.
Yeah, you need to eat early for good sleep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I've picked up on that where obviously because we've got autistic kids, it's very struggle to have something to eat during the day. Very struggle. So like we sometimes, like we've done it in the past, where we've eaten something after 9 o'clock at night. Not a good idea.
No, way too late. Yeah.
Exactly, because I'm up at like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning and I don't fall asleep for about an hour. So and then I'm as Kerry says, not this Kerry, my Kerry, I'm knackered and grouchy the next day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which
I mean,
she just walked in as well, so yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
They say hi. Oh, she's in the kitchen unpacking. She's just been shopping.
Adam, just going back to the definition, I've got a little list here.
Okay.
Kerry started with having trouble falling asleep, waking during the night, and I mentioned the early morning wake up, which may or may not be related to some form of anxiety. I've got early morning waking, excessive thinking and worrying in bed is the big one for insomnia.
Yes.
Which I kind of mentioned. Worrying about not sleeping, which I sort of mentioned. Pain, of course, PTSD, and the list goes on. So
it does.
Yeah. So people can have all sorts of reasons for not sleeping, and then it's about finding solutions, isn't it?
Yeah. See,
Absolutely.
Our son, obviously he's 9 now. He was diagnosed with a sleep disorder,
Okay.
where he was falling asleep around about 8 o'clock at night, and he was up at like 5 o'clock in the morning. Sometimes it's 4 o'clock in the morning. So
Wow.
obviously, and it really drained us
Yeah.
because he would not stop. Like, he would not take a break all day. He's constantly on the move. And like, calm down, break, breathe. But no, it just can't. So, but luckily he's outgrown that now, and he can fall. He can do an all night now, like where he's falling asleep.
Yeah.
So happy days.
Yeah, it's lots of people have problems with their sleep for lots of different reasons, don't they?
Yeah.
Some of them are medical, I suppose, is the way you can describe them. Others are simply, I'm saying simply, it's simply to me because I understand it. It's mainly because of what they're thinking, what they're believing. You know, if you believe that you're not going to get to sleep for hours on end, then the chances are you're not. It's not going to happen. If you believe that you'll be waking up 2, 3, 4 times in the night, chances are you will. But I also believe that it's very much a case of, you know, what is behind those thoughts, what are behind those beliefs, and really getting to the root cause of the problem and dealing with that. You know, we can all tweak and adjust our bedtime routines, which will help.
Yep.
You know, massively. They really will help massively. But it's so important to get to the root cause and deal with that, I believe. You know, because insomnia in many cases can be a symptom.
Yeah.
And whilst you can treat symptoms, it doesn't stop others from cropping up a little bit further down the line. So it's always more effective to treat the root cause, really.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's where your work of NLP and hypnosis comes in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it doesn't help because you get these people, especially the Brits, obviously not me, that watch soaps like Emmerdale, Hollyoaks, whatever you want to call it. And like there are some episodes on that which is like 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. And half the time they're ending on cliffhangers. So it's like, you ain't gonna go to sleep after that.
No.
Oh, Kerry's guilty of that.
Is she?
You're Kerry.
No, you.
Me, I don't watch the soaps. I haven't watched the soaps for years.
I just thought with your reaction then, I thought, yeah, she's guilty.
No, I do recall having watched them and watching the late night ones and it ending on a cliffhanger, and I'm thinking, oh, no, you can't leave it there. What's going to happen now? No, I prefer I switch everything off at around about 9 o'clock in the evening. If not by 9, definitely by 10 o'clock. Excuse me. That's a given for me. And I'll read for an hour.
Yeah, perfect.
In the living room, I'll read for an hour. Something relatively light, non-educational, just a little bit of escapism, you know, easy to read. And then I let the dogs out, I lock up, brush my teeth, get into bed. And if I feel like it, I might read for another half an hour. And then I find that I can get off to sleep quite quickly. And unless I'm really hot and uncomfortable, I'll sleep through. But that's me. You see, I don't have stuff. Well, I say I don't have stuff. I do have stuff occasionally going around in my head, but I know how to deal with that. So I can quieten that down. I know the steps to take in order to get shot a bit and just relax.
Yeah.
There are lots and lots of people that will turn around and say, oh, yeah, well, I tried that and it didn't work for me. You know, so then you've got to look at, as I'm saying, you've got to look at the root cause, really. You've got to look a little bit deeper into why is that not working for you? How are you actually going about your bedtime routine? How long have you been doing this routine for? If it's just a couple of 3 nights, then with some people it can take a while before it starts to settle down and really kick in.
Yeah.
So, but I won't say that I'm completely against the use of drugs, because I do believe that in some instances it's necessary. But I was very interested. I've got to look into it a bit more, Shazza, because I'm very, very interested to find out more about the work that you've done with Dr. David about with the getting to sleep without the use of drugs. I think that's amazing. Yeah.
And he agrees. You know, in his interviews, he's said, look, he's not opposed to the drugs. Sometimes they're needed and they serve a purpose. But he's helped people that are taking, you know, a packet of sleeping tablets a night and this sort of thing, and still only getting limited sleep, because the body adapts, as we know, to the drugs. They can cause side effects, particularly with long-term use. And, you know, and then you've lost the art of falling asleep naturally. And, you know, I was losing so much sleep back then, and now I can sleep anywhere, anytime. I sleep like a log. And one of the things I mastered was that worrying excessively. And David just teaches people to have a sort of a mantra that says, you know, I can worry about it. I've worried about it today. I can worry about it tomorrow. But right now I'm just going to sleep, and just keep saying that over and over, and, you know, start retraining the brain to sleep when you're in bed. So, yeah.
See, the I've got, because obviously we're experiencing a heat wave at the minute with this humidity, but I already know the temperature, body temperature starts in the feet. I already know that.
Yeah.
So why am I struggling to sleep when obviously I'm covered up, but my feet are out? They're exposed. Why am I still struggling to sleep?
What else is going on in that head of yours, Dave? Adam?
You about to call me David then?
No, I was about to say something else, but I don't know. It just I was thinking about something else at the same time. I do apologise. I wasn't going to call you David at all. No, I'll tell you what it was. It's looking at your name on the screen, and it's Adam Duval. And sometimes my brain works faster than my mouth, and occasionally words get congealed. But yes, I was going to say, what else is going on in that head of yours?
I do deal with a lot.
Yes.
Yeah. That's it.
And Adam, remember how I'm always chipping you about going to sleep earlier?
I get nagged.
Yeah, actually, there's a thing called the circadian rhythm. So it's a 60 to 90-minute cycle, and I'll just do the wave. And Dr. David talks about you've got to catch the wave. You've got to catch the wave of sleep. So, for instance, when Kerry's reading, if she starts to get sleepy, that's time to go to bed. You know, if you're reading and you're a bit hyped up, then you might need to choose another activity. Turning off screens well before bedtime. And David says it's not so much about what time you go to bed, but catching that wave of sleep. But if you get up at the same time every morning, that will start to train your body, you know, to try to look for that same amount of sleep each night. And we should be getting 8 hours of sleep.
I was going to say, yeah, I would definitely be looking to go to bed about 9 hours prior to the time I'm planning on getting up the following day.
Yeah.
Usually, I mean, I can generally cope with anywhere between 6 and 8 hours sleep a night.
Yeah.
You know, but what I have found by having changed my bedtime routine is that I am going to bed earlier. So therefore, obviously, I'm waking up earlier in the morning, and I'm not waking up and looking at the clock and thinking, oh no, I'll just another 10 minutes, you know, and turning over and going back to sleep. I'm not doing that. I'm waking up and I'm awake.
Good.
I actually feel awake and I'm feeling refreshed, and I think, yeah, I'm getting up now.
Getting enough sleep. That's good.
Yeah.
Well,
even though this might tell otherwise.
Nah. Not at all.
Well, my Kerry's finally joined in, and she says, "I do not nag you." I'm like, "Yes, you do."
That's good. That's good.
Yeah. She didn't want to come on camera, but she thought she'll interact commenting wise. So yes,
that's enough. That's fine.
As long as she shares this, I'm happy with that.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she'll be upstairs laughing now.
But if we don't get enough sleep, what happens is, your body doesn't produce enough of the happy chemicals overnight. We use the sleep time to repair our bodies, to heal our bodies, to build immunity, to rest, to repair and heal brain cells, and whatever it is that needs healing. That's when we do it, while we're asleep, and that's when we make our chemicals for the next day. So if we're not getting enough sleep, that's why we're cranky the next day, and why our cortisol is up. And yes, you. I was looking right at you, baby.
You can't escape, Adam.
No,
and you're much more likely to have an argument with someone and things like that if you're not getting enough sleep.
Yeah.
So, and there's a new study out about dementia. They're now finding that lack of sleep is contributing. They've got actual research now that it can make you more likely to have dementia. So the minute I heard that, I started sleeping an extra hour every night.
Well, it's interesting that you should mention that, actually, because my nan had Alzheimer's and my mum had dementia.
Yeah.
So, of course, when all of this was going on a few years ago, my immediate thought was, oh, crikey, does that mean it's going to happen to me?
Yeah.
But by that point, I'd learned how to not worry about something that hasn't happened.
Yeah.
But I've made it part of my own personal mission for me to educate myself, to make sure that I have a reasonable, healthy lifestyle. And again, getting that sleep is all important. As I say, we're still going to wake up in the night and hot at times, especially if we're that hot that we're uncomfortable. And occasionally, we get the call of nature, and that has to be dealt with too. But for the most part, I do think you're absolutely right. Sleep is so important. It's so important. Probably one of the most important things that we actually do, for all the reasons you've already said about. And possibly a few more that haven't been mentioned yet. Yeah.
Well, anxiety and depression are one of my specialty areas, and having been through all of that myself, sleep is vital. And of course, it creates that vicious circle where I think you said something before, Kerry, about it can. I forget how you put it, but I was thinking at the time, you can become anxious and depressed if you have lack of sleep, and then that leads to lack of sleep because you're all kind of keyed up, and it's crazy.
Yeah, been there.
Absolutely.
Yes.
See, Kerry's been commenting as well, and she says she'll share it. Brilliant. Adam's always cranky.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, here we go. She's actually put another comment. Insomnia. I never sleep on most nights I'm awake. That's because, and she's guilty of this, she wakes up, especially if it's night before payday, she wakes up and she's like, I want to go shopping virtually. So that's what she does.
Not during the night.
There's been times where I've woken up the next morning and she's like, and I check the bank and it's like, there's so much missing here. What's going on? And there's Kerry. She's trying to stayed silent. Like, how much have you spent this time, Kerry?
Oh dear.
What is the purpose of her doing this shopping?
I don't know, but that what she just said about insomnia, that's actually what it means. I never sleep on most nights I'm awake.
Yeah, it is. As I say, I think that for the most part, it is about being able to control those thoughts, isn't it?
Yeah.
Initially, and then at some point, really looking deeper and finding out what the real root cause of the problem is. So, yeah. It's interesting, actually, Sharon, that you mentioned PTSD as one of the causes, and one of the things. My main area that I work in is helping people that have experienced trauma. And of course, trauma comes in all different shapes and sizes for all sorts of different people, doesn't it? You know, what one considers to be traumatic, another would think it's a walk in the park. Because we're all made up so differently. So it's not just something that's going to affect. PTSD is not something that's just going to affect somebody who, I don't know, an ex-military personnel, who's experienced, witnessed somebody being shot or blown up or whatever. All sorts of different things. Just as an example, myself, I went through an abusive relationship. That was clearly fairly traumatic because just before I woke up and saw the light and moved out, I also had a nervous breakdown. But then nervous breakdowns tend to be as a result of having bottled things up for far too long, or there's so much going on that you're saying to yourself, I can't deal with this, and eventually the mind just goes, okay, then I'm going to shut down for a bit.
Yeah.
And it does.
Yeah.
It does.
Definitely.
So yeah.
Kerry's put, shopping is my self-care.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You could find an alternative self-care, like somebody behind me.
The cat.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Or a nice warm bath.
Yeah.
A cold shower could help as well.
That doesn't sound quite as appealing, although
no, seriously though. No, when I'm down and experiencing very high anxiety,
it helps with that.
I go for a cold shower, and you know what? It really helps, even if it's for about 10 minutes. It shocks the whole of the body, and it can reduce your anxiety from. I can't remember the exact percentage, but
it's that.
Useful.
Yeah, definitely. But going back to Kerry's
comment,
her purchasing, her online purchasing, it's that shopping, that self-care shopping. We convince ourselves that we will feel better once we've bought whatever. I've done it, I still do it from time to time. And yeah, initially it's like, oh look, bright shiny new thing, toy, whatever. But the novelty wears off just as quickly as that initial happy rush goes through us. So it's very, very short-lived. So, for me, I needed to find something that was more sustainable.
Yeah.
That would work for me long term. And just spending my money, as much as I love spending my money, it's material stuff. So I think, as far as spending my money is concerned, it's great to buy all these material things, but why don't I buy something? Why don't I spend money on myself? Like, I don't know, treat myself to I presume they're open now. It's been a long time since I last did it, but like a massage, or an appointment with the hairdressers.
You need that.
Yes.
Yes. or
Yeah.
just, you know,
Yeah.
something nice, something that I can actually enjoy, get involved in, and it's
Yeah.
there. It works. You know, it's of benefit to me.
Yeah, I see where you're going with this, because obviously,
Yeah.
like shopping, when you're buying something, it goes back to the medication. It's like it only numbs the pain temporary,
Yeah.
but like something else, an alternative, like stroking a cat or even gardening.
Yeah.
Gardening, especially this time of the year, it's very permanent, because then you can sit on the couch and look out the garden. I'm like, I've done that. And you'd be
Yeah.
proud of it. So it's
Yeah.
not temporary, it's permanent. But yeah. So Kerry Duval, you're definitely being attacked here.
Oh no, she's not being attacked.
No.
Yes, absolutely. Supported. Yes.
Yeah. Just some alternate viewpoints.
Yeah.
I booked a holiday. I've been looking at weekends away also. Yes.
Well,
Yeah,
that's
because
good.
we're going on holiday in a few weeks. So
Good.
happy days.
Brilliant.
Perfect.
A week away.
Yeah.
Fabulous. That again, that's something else that helps, isn't it? You know, a change of scenery.
Yeah.
And just being able to kick back and relax and forget about normal everyday life, whatever that takes, you know, whatever shape that takes for you. It's just being somewhere different, doing something different.
Exactly. So that'll be that one Monday where I'm not going to be live.
Ooh.
Yeah. So the one before and one after, we need to make it really good. I'm proud. I booked a holiday myself. Yes, she did.
Good.
Yeah.
And going back to the gardening and is great for the soul, and it's great for grounding and earthing too. Hugging trees, walking on the sand, walking in water.
Yeah.
We're missing
Barefoot as
all
well.
that. We're missing that, as you know, our souls need all that, and that's something we need to do more of, and that will help us sleep.
Definitely.
You know, all
Definitely.
that connection that we're missing. Less
Yeah.
online, more outside time. That almost rhymes.
It does, doesn't it? Very good.
With a slogan and a rap song or something.
Yes. Do you know, you just saying that, I recall a holiday. I went to Spain with some friends just for a week in October 2019, and it was the first holiday abroad I'd had for a very, very long time. And where I live in the UK, I'm in the Midlands, so I'm the furthest away from beach you can get in this country. And it'd been a long, long time since I'd been on a beach, and I didn't realise how much I'd missed it until we got there. It was Benidorm, but it was lovely, really lovely. This wonderful golden sandy beach, and we walked up to it, and I took my shoes off, so I'd got bare feet, and my feet just sank in and it was like velvet, warm velvet, and it was like, oh my goodness, this is just so amazing. It felt wonderful. And do you know what? For that entire week, I slept brilliantly.
I was just going to say, I bet you slept,
yeah.
And it's that connection to the earth, to the universe, you know, in here.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to teach our kids now, because every time they want to go play out the back or the front, they always want to put especially Sunny days, they want to put the shoes on. Like, right, okay, put your shoes on, but this time go barefoot. They're like, oh, what if I hurt myself? I'm like, just trust me, you won't. And it's like the feet connecting on the grass. It's like you are connecting to earth there.
Yeah.
So yeah,
definitely, yeah.
They slept that night as well. They slept that night.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think this is why I always slept really well as a child, you know, because we were certainly this time of the year. My brother and I, we'd be awake early. We'd go running out into the back garden where we had a little paddling pool, and we had a swing frame set out there. You know, it was a metal frame one. It was well and truly secured into the lawn, so we could climb all over it. But it was always with bare feet, always at this time of the year. The only time we ever wore shoes was if we were walking out on the concrete, on the pavements out the front, But yeah, always barefooted. It was wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
See,
We have to be. It's getting. I think it's getting in touch with that inner child, isn't it? We've got to be. We've got to do that. We've really got to do that.
I know we're planning on to self-care like we spoke about last week. So yeah, obviously I know Kerry, but am I the only one that doesn't like the feel of sand on my feet?
Yeah, true.
Not everybody does, but it was
I do.
Such a wonderful experience. It really was.
It does. But yeah, it's just back to insomnia as well. It's like there's just so much we need to talk about when it comes to it.
I mean, self-care affects kind of every area of our lives, really, doesn't it? You know, and it's so important, particularly when it comes to having problems actually sleeping. So, I think what works for one won't necessarily work for another, because we are all different. But it's about finding something that works for us, isn't it?
Yeah. I wouldn't say different. I'd say unique in our own way.
Yeah. That's it.
Yeah. Even though I'm the only normal one in this house, so yeah.
In the program with Dr. David, he has 50 strategies for sleeping. Wow. So, and the program runs you run it for 4 to 6 weeks. It's just self-paced, and it's got a 87% success rate. So, and of the people who weren't successful, most of them didn't give it 4 to 6 weeks. So, and he says that people who have suffered from insomnia, will tell him, oh, I haven't slept well for 13 years or all my life or the last 5 years since whatever occurred. So if they can't then give 4 to 6 weeks to the program, they need to give it a go and try the strategies and say, well, that one didn't work for me, but that one did. So, and he also explains, and this was probably one of the most important things for me. So the worrying thing was really good for me to learn how to just switch off. And you can even say, don't even start, that's one of his other tips. Don't even start and then stop yourself. And then I used to do the stretches. One part of the program is just stretching all the parts of your body. So if you make a fist now and you squeeze it and let it go, and you feel that sense of relaxation that comes over it.
Yeah.
And if you screw up your face, come on, Adam, and let it go. Yeah, beautiful. And you feel that sense of relaxation because you're tensing and relaxing muscles. So one of the strategies that was so successful for me was just tensing and relaxing muscles. And if I wake up during the night and I am worrying about something, I start those stretches, and because I've practiced it for all these years, the subconscious goes, oh yeah, every time I do those stretches, I fall asleep. So I don't even get as far as, if I start on my toes, I don't even get to my knees, or if I start at the top, I don't even get to the, to the neck, because it's the retraining, isn't it, Kerry, of the brain,
Absolutely, yes. Spot on. And also, whilst you're doing that, you're averting your focus on what you're doing. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I love that.
So I do a combination of that. And then if the thoughts are still coming, if I'm really excited about something like, oh, hey, I'm going live with Adam Duval and Kerry Burr, and I can't get it out of my head, then I
you sad person.
Yeah. then I do the old, don't even start, or I will worry about it. I've worried about it today. I can worry about it tomorrow. Right now, I'm just going to sleep. And the one other thing that really helped me, that might help people here, is he taught me that lying in bed resting peacefully is almost as restorative as sleep.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I just chant that to myself. lying in bed, not worrying, but lying in bed just resting peacefully is almost as restorative as sleep. And that just changed everything, because I thought, oh, if I just lie peacefully, do the stretches, whatever, not worry, but yeah, do some of the strategies, and then you fall asleep because you're not worrying anymore. So yeah, so it's just been
Brilliant.
amazing for me to come from such a place of sleeping difficulties to being able to sleep well, and then helping others to do the same. I gave the program, I've got like, the proper version, or you can get like MP3s or whatever.
Yeah.
I've got a photocopied version that I was given by a counsellor, and I gave it to a well-known Australian actress who said, "Oh, look, no, don't worry, Shazza. I've read everything. I've tried everything." And I said, just try this for me, because it's so well researched. He ran the sleep clinic in Melbourne. It's got 87% success rate, blah, blah, blah. And she said, oh, all right. And she mailed it back to me with the most beautiful letter saying, I can't believe it. I tried it for the 4 to 6 weeks and I am now sleeping. And it was like, oh.
Fantastic.
So we're actually going to ask her if she'll write a review or something. It's
Yeah.
my to-do list. She's quite well known. She just happened to be my friend's granddaughter, so I don't hang with actresses generally.
So,
but having somebody in the public eye like that give it a positive review, give positive feedback on that program is because we are a species that look up to people that are well known, when they're our idols, and however that's it, and so to have something positive like that being put out there by somebody in the public eye is absolutely amazing. I was going to ask as well, how do we access that information?
Yeah, it's just on Facebook, Sleep Better Without Drugs. And you can buy the audio version from about $9.99, or for you guys it would be £6 or something. And then there's the ebook version, and you can even still get, for older people, they can get CDs. It all comes in a box with a lady sleeping on the front cover, and
fabulous.
But there's lots and lots of information on the Facebook page, and then you just click through to order it. But Kerry, we'll get you a copy. I'll organise something for you through David.
Thank you.
So but it's a very good program, and I haven't seen anything quite as extensive on the market, because I've looked, because I'm now into the whole how do we sleep better thing. So, but I think it's the best out there.
Awesome.
So let's talk about, obviously we're talking about sleep. So big question is, how is yawning contagious?
That's an interesting question. I've never really given that much thought, to be honest.
Yeah. Do you want me to do a quick Google? I think
Go for it.
I think it's just the nature of seeing someone yawn. I think we mirror them, but I'm not sure.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah, I hadn't thought of it that way. But also, perhaps we, again, subconsciously, we know that when we're yawning, it's because it's generally, I think, because we're lacking oxygen, isn't it?
Yeah.
But when we're lacking oxygen, we feel tired. So, of course, we associate yawning with being tired. And I think when we see somebody else yawn, our subconscious mind suddenly goes, "Oh, tired," and so all of a sudden, we're yawning as well. So it's interesting.
Like Kerry just commented, like Adam nearly yawned about 5 minutes ago, and I'm guilty.
Well, here you go. I did Google.
Oh, go on.
It's socially modulated response because it can be inhibited by actual and not virtual social presence. Well, that's a bit too deep, isn't it?
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
And because yawn can be triggered by someone else's yawn as a result of a phenomenon known as contagious yawning. So socially modulated, inhibited, but yeah, I'm lost on that bit. I'll have to read that and have a think about that. But yeah,
I'm sure. I was going to say, I'm sure somebody somewhere has done some research on that, and
course, yeah.
it'd be interesting to read what they've discovered actually.
Yeah, we'll get back to you on
I'm
that,
actually doing
Adam.
it now. Hang on.
We'll get back to you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So there's another thing called sleep hygiene that interests people. So, and that's all your things like turning off your screens early, having a nice lavender bath, maybe a diffuser with, I use a diffuser next to my bed with lavender most nights. Sometimes I put something else in there if I need a bit of respiratory help, or there's a couple that you can buy, a couple of the oils that help with immunity, and yeah, but definitely lavender, baths, hot showers, winding down, as Kerry said, reading, but not something too heavy. And even that routine of, like Kerry said, putting out the dogs, or, turning out the lights and brushing your teeth and putting your pajamas on in the same order sort of thing, that's all sort of setting you up for bedtime, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Here we go. I've got the description here.
You found it.
Yawning is the reflex action of opening your mouth wide and inhaling deeply due to tiredness or boredom.
Or boredom. Okay.
Yeah. It's also it's also an adjective as well. A very large unwired, so it's like the yawning entrance of the cave.
Of what?
Of the cave. The yawning entrance of the cave.
Oh, okay. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah,
here we go. Is yawning a sign of lack of oxygen? This seems logical since yawning does bring in more oxygen with a deep breath, and the expiration removes more carbon dioxide than the usual breath. But research by putting people in low oxygen or high carbon dioxide environments does not cause yawning.
Okay.
We need more research.
Yeah. We need a whole live on yawning.
Yes.
Good idea. Kerry's just commented lavender pillow spray. Not
Yes.
out.
Yeah.
I use that sometimes, yeah.
I need to buy some more. Yeah. Amazon.
Massage is helpful. Meditation is helpful. There's studies that say that people who meditate will sleep better. Having a little bit of relaxation during the day, not so much a nap, because that can sometimes interfere with the sleep cycle, but having a bit of relaxation or meditation during the day can help you sleep. Exercise with a capital E.
Yep. Absolutely.
That's it.
That is something I need to do a little bit more of, but
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
So,
No caffeine after. I drink no caffeine after 6 o'clock in the evening as well.
Too. Yeah. And even eating needs to be not too late, for your body to digest and process.
I can go through between 8 and 10 cups of coffee a day. And
no.
I thought I drank a lot of coffee.
You've got the instant coffee, Kerry. I've got my espressos.
No wonder you're not sleeping.
No, I was just going to say, and you're asking us why you're not sleeping?
I'm setting a bad example here, aren't I?
Yes. It's got nothing to do with your feet sticking out of the bed, Adam.
No.
10 o'clock bedtime, 6 o'clock up, down to 3 cups of coffee a day, less. Do you know what we have before bed? I should have brought the jar in to show you. Got a lovely big jar in the kitchen of sleep tea. So I've always taken sleep tea. Like you can buy it in boxes in the supermarket. But Frank and I, as Adam knows, are the crusaders against plastic. And we found out that tea bags have a little bit of plastic in them generally to make them strong, woven into the fibers. So we don't do tea bags. We just buy real tea, leaf tea. And so we go down to our health food shop. We're turning into hippies. And the ladies put all the beautiful herbs into the jar, and we have that every night. So we have chamomile, valerian, lemon balm, lavender in a tea. Oh, and it's just amazing.
Lovely. Yeah.
It's
See,
great. And we look forward to it every night. We'd be watching the clock, watching a bit of telly, doing whatever we're doing, and then someone will say, "Oh, time for the sleep tea."
see,
it's great. Yeah.
our son Lucas, he's changed his ways because he started having a cup of coffee. Like he only has the one a day. No sugar, by the way. And but like when he was at school, obviously he drank his juice, no problem. Filtered water, of course. But then when I went to go and pick him up, he came up. I had this cup, like in his cup. It was water, but then he had leaves. I'm like, what the hell are them? So obviously he took the lid off. He said, smell that. So I'm like, right, okay. He made mint.
Oh, nice.
Mint and water.
Yeah.
So I'm like, wow. So there you go. And also like when he had a cough, normally we give him Calpol or something like that. But he actually, and this was when he was at his grandma's the other week. He got a cup. And he poured some water in it, and he put some lemon in it instead.
Nice.
And straight away, he drank that, and the cough went. So he's turned to the home remedies stuff. So I'm like, wow, brilliant, let's do this.
Yeah. Isn't that great? At his age, that he's
9 years old. 9 years old, and he's doing this.
That's awesome. Yeah.
He needs to be taught more. But Kerry commented, "But a cup of tea before bed actually helps her sleep."
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, back to the one work for the other, may not for the other.
Exactly. Yeah.
Absolutely. So, any last words on what we can do about insomnia?
I think it's for starters, I think tweak your bedtime routine, and one of the most important things, as we've already mentioned, is switching off all of those screens between half an hour to an hour before going to bed. And whatever it is that you do, as Sharon said, whatever it is that you do, once you get to that point, once you feel that wave and you think, right, it's time to actually go to bed now, whatever your routine is, if you've got dogs and you let them out, whether it's just a case of locking up, turning out the lights, brushing your teeth, putting pajamas on, getting into bed, do it in the same order each evening and persevere with it, because after a little while, I mean, it might be, as in my case, I tweaked my bedtime routine a little bit, and it worked instantly. With others, it'll take a little bit longer, but I think that's a really good starting point, I think.
Absolutely. And just going off Kerry's comment, which she keeps reminding me of, is a good self-care routine before we go to bed can help to ease insomnia.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So, any last words, Shazza?
Always. Well, I think we've proven, if Kerry's come from, and thank you for sharing, Kerry, about your DV situation.
Oh, pleasure.
Yeah. And if you've come from something, a PTSD situation like that, and I've come from anxiety and depression that was so debilitating that I was hospitalized for over a month, So, and it got worse and worse before it got better. But, here we are, teaching others and also teaching about sleep. And I think, if we've come from those challenges and adversity to being able to sleep well and then show others how to sleep well.
Mm.
I think I was just going through my notes, and one thing that sprung out was, you know, that fear, and that we talked about how you can get more confidence to sleep by practicing the strategies. But that fear of I've got to sleep, I'm going to be so tired tomorrow, and that terrible cycle of worrying about lack of sleep.
Yeah.
And as David says, what's the worst thing that's going to happen? I'm not going to die. I'll probably get through the day. And funnily enough, sometimes when you've had less sleep, I don't know about you, but I get to halfway through the day and I think, oh, actually, I'm doing all right today, even though I didn't sleep well. You know, like
Yes.
there's no prediction on what sort of day you're going to have based on your lack of sleep or your sleep. So all that obsessing about lack of sleep, you know, we're wasting a lot more worry during the day or overnight. So if we can just, take that step back, practice some strategies, tweak the bedtime, as Kerry says, you know, try all these different things that are available to us, and look up that program. I mean, there's nothing in it for me, really.
Absolutely.
It was something that I wanted to give back because I'd had such success with it. So just look up Sleep Better Without Drugs. And there's lots of videos on there, even if you don't buy the program, there's so much information on the Facebook page. You can post a question and we'll answer it. There are sleep programs out there for people. So
Definitely.
yeah, and there's no need to be on lots of sleeping tablets, you know. There's so many ways to learn to sleep naturally.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
So all I've got to say is thank you to both.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. What should we discuss next week before we sign off?
Ooh. Good question. Might have to think about that.
It could be PTSD, it could be depression, it could be trauma, could be anything.
Could be anything at all.
What do you think, Shazza? What do you think we should talk about? Because
Well,
we're covering it all. We are.
I'd have to have a look at what you have discussed in the past, but I think you guys are doing some amazing topics. I probably won't be able to come very often because one of my self-care things is yoga on Monday nights normally.
Ooh,
so
wonderful.
yeah, I need it. If I miss a week, I feel all tense and tight and think, oh, I've got to get back to yoga.
Well, we've covered anxiety, we've covered self-care, and obviously we've just done insomnia.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think the PTSD one could be great. It's a heavy one, but you know, it's out there, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah.
Right, let's do it then. PTSD. There you go.
Okie dokie.
PTSD. And on that note, thank you to everyone tuning in, replay, whatever. Thank you to you two. And I'm actually live this Wednesday night, turning spiritual.
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to the spiritual world. Something to do with Pisces and Saturn, I think it is. I don't know. Or Jupiter. Something like that. I don't know. But yeah. With someone from New York as well.
Fabulous.
Happy days. So yes, please tune in. Bye for now.